Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kenny Lamons here with Medicare Millennials. I've got Ethan with me. We are going to do a little bit of cross-sell training for you guys. So today's video, we wanted to talk to those new or existing agents that sell Medicare that want to either start cross-selling final expense life insurance or want to get better at cross-selling final expense life insurance. So before I have Ethan jump in here, let me start by a couple of things. This is assuming that you are going in on some lead like a Medicare lead. They don't expect you to be selling a life insurance policy when you go in there, number one. Number two, the video is kind of assuming that you either are concerned you won't have the cash flow to do only Medicare for the first year or two, because maybe you don't have a lot of savings, you don't have a spouse that works, you don't have, that luxury, you've got to make every dime, then this is going to speak to you, because this is how we were able to get that upfront cash flow regularly enough to pay for our lead expenses and then some, to kind of give us the momentum to make it into year 2 and year 3 when those renewals kick in. There's a lot to selling insurance in a Medicare home that Ethan's going to speak to a little bit. In today's video, we're only going to address replacing life insurance policies. So you could be selling a brand new life policy to someone who's never had insurance. You could be adding additional coverage. We believe that those are separate videos because there's some nuance to each of those. Today, I believe the easiest way to get into selling life insurance is just reviewing policies for customers that you're there to see anyway, and then replacing the bad ones. So Ethan, reintroduce yourself and kind of give some of the high level points, takeaways that you wanted agents to get out of this. So.
Well, guys, Ethan Gladwell here. Kenny, you hit the nail on the head. A couple of things is, guys, the easiest person to sell life insurance to is somebody that already has life insurance. So I know that we're going to kind of dig down deep into that and what we need to look for when reviewing policies. But Kenny, you're absolutely right. It's crucial. We talk about Medicare so much and the power of residuals and things like that. But then when we talk to other agents who are interested in selling Medicare, they kind of see what that upfront commission is. Although we've talked about it, it's not near as high as life insurance. So really your only options are when starting to sell Medicare insurance will be to double, triple down and get that volume. We're talking 50, 60, 70 plans a month, Medicare plans a month, or maybe a little bit more realistically, build a little bit slower on the Medicare side, but then cross sell that life insurance. And guys, that's exactly what we did. In fact, Kenny and I we used to tease that we were life insurance agents that just so happen to know a little bit about Medicare. And guys, that's the only way. I mean, we know that lead costs seem to be going higher. It's harder to get folks on the phone, and when you finally do get somebody, it's very crucial for your success, at least in the beginning, to milk every dime out of that client in a good way, of course. And so that includes asking and reviewing their life insurance policies. Super important.
So when we first started selling life insurance policies, if you remember, we weren't AHIP certified. We didn't do Medicare Advantage at that time. We did more MedSup stuff. And if they had Med Advantage, we just left it alone. So we didn't have to worry about much compliance. What would be, first and foremost, Ethan and I are not the compliance officers. Okay. So anything that we say about compliance, take with a grain of salt, do your own research. Do not quote me on any of that. Okay. Right. But we can give you some general rules of thumb now that as we interpret it and as we understand it, you're going in to see a Medicare customer. Maybe it's a referral. Maybe they filled out a business reply card, whatever. What should an agent keep in mind before they start positioning a life policy?
Well, first off, real fast, when we're talking about life insurance, I think we're talking about final expense more in particular, yes. Correct? Yes. Just to kind of narrow that down. Most of the time, of course, there's special circumstances where we're talking about, ULs and things like that. So today we'll kind of hone in on the final expense. Guys, there are some boundaries in which we're bound to when it comes to selling life insurance and Medicare. So of course, if it's a referral, I'm not sure if there's any sort of boundaries there as far as being able to talk about both Medicare and life insurance. But for today's sake, let's maybe just say there are.
Yeah.
And so guys, when you're going in on a Medicare lead, you can talk all day long until you're blue in the face about Medicare and sell that plan. But once you sell that plan, you can no longer you can no longer sell life insurance in that same appointment. You're going to have to schedule a back, whether it's later that day, 2 days from that day, whatever it may be. So that doesn't mean you can't ask the questions, though. That doesn't mean you can't review policies. That doesn't mean that you can't really figure out what it is that they have or don't have, and then schedule a back. Is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, but I want to dumb it down even more than that.
Okay.
To me, this is my interpretation of it. If I get to the point where I'm getting a scope of appointment signed to present plan specifics on a Medicare Advantage plan, at that point, I will not be presenting a life insurance product as well. It's that simple. If I never get to the point where I'm even going to present a Medicare Advantage product that day, doesn't matter. I can sell anything else I want. It's very simple. You get a scope signed, you start going over plan specifics with the customer. In that exact presentation, we're not going to convolute it with other products like life insurance. Simple enough. But
I was just going to say, and this, guys, this does not include Medicare supplements.
Exactly. This is just related to Medicare Advantage, prescription drug plans, those products that require a scope of appointment.
Bingo.
Okay?
Bingo.
All right. With that being said, let's say that I go into a house. All they want to talk about is Medicare. We get into it, get a scope signed, get the Medicare done. I can't give you 100% answer if you can then take a 10-minute break, everything's done, you've enrolled them, and then start a new appointment for life insurance. Some people would say, I don't think it explicitly says that you can't do that, but that sounds great to me. I'm just going to come back later that day or the next day. I can't tell you on that. I can tell you this much. I just personally don't ever present them in the same, I am completely finishing Medicare plan specifics and everything's done with that. And then at some point, I don't know if that's 5 minutes or 5 days, I'm doing a completely separate deal for life insurance. The safest you can be is just go over the actual presentation for life insurance the next day. Here's the cool thing. I'm a field agent. When I come into a house, all I want to do, and let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Okay.
All I want to do is find out what life insurance they already have. Because like you said, if they already have life insurance, they're easier to sell it to. They already believe in it. And that day, I'm not even thinking about selling them a policy per se. All I'm going to do is during my needs assessment, when I'm building rapport, when I'm asking them, what kind of policies are you carrying right now? Is, hey, who do you carry? I know that you've told me you have XYZ medical plan. You've got this dental and vision plan. This is all I say. What other life or health or life insurance policies do you carry? And I let them say whatever they're going to say. And then I kind of double down on it. I say, by life insurance, I mean something to help pay for your burial, a final expense policy, anything that'll pay out when you pass away. Do you carry that? Then I let them respond to me. If the answer is yes, all I want to do then is know what they have, right? I don't even have to be prepared to sell them anything. This is just during the needs assessment. I want to know what they have. So when I'm at that point now, Ethan, all I did was ask the question. They're very open to that normally because you've already built rapport. You're in the middle of your needs assessment. What are you looking for and what are you asking at that point?
Before I get into these questions, here's the most important thing that I think we can kind of discuss is, guys, what we're looking for when we start asking these questions, and write these questions down and use them next time, because we've been doing it for 6, you 7 years, Kenny. These questions work. But what we're looking for is, we're not looking for them to know every answer. We want to ask questions until they say, I don't know. And once they say, I don't know, that's when you can kind of squeeze in and get that review started. So Kenny, are you wanting me to ask the certain or the specific questions we're talking about? Because the first thing that I ask is the company name.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. So what Ethan's saying is, once we ask if they have life insurance, if they say yes, then we're just going to keep asking some basic questions here. So Ethan, what kind of questions are you asking from there?
The first one I ask is company name. Keep that real basic. I'm looking for loyalty, right? I'm looking for, if they know who it is, that's great. But if you hear what you will a million times, I'm not sure, they just withdraw it from the bank, that's a good sign, in my opinion. They're not loyal. They just have a policy. They don't know anything about it. The next thing I ask is what type of policy it is. And what I have found is, depending on, because you're going to have to lead them into that. Nobody knows that there's different types, or most people don't. What I have found is it's the first one you say, whether it be term, whole, universal, whichever the first one you say is the one they stick to. Have you ever noticed that?
That's what I've got. Yeah.
I always say term, whole, and they go, it's a term. Yeah, it's term. And truth of the matter, guys, 99% of the people you talk to won't know that answer, right? But they're going to give you something, right? Because they've all heard of term insurance online, or maybe their buddy had whole life and it was terrible for whatever reason, right? Then the next thing that I'm asking is their death benefit. That's important. And then I slowly make a joke, and I'm like, are we talking 100, 200,000, or what are we thinking here? And they're going to, they may say 5,000, whatever that may be, or shoot, I wish, or anything like that. But we're really looking for a death benefit. And then the next thing we're looking for is the premium. And guys, I promise you, once you start really writing some life insurance, once you've quoted 100 policies, you're going to see the correlation between death benefit amount and premium amount, right? If somebody says they have $100,000 for $20, well, hold on. Sorry. Death benefit, premium, and type of policy, right? So if somebody says they have $100,000 for $20, either A, that's not true, or B, it could be an old term, right? We understand that.
Yeah.
And again, you're only going to find that out by really quoting that stuff.
So let me pause you there. Those 4 basic questions are usually enough for a new agent to get you. They're not going to be able to answer something confidently of those. They may. So you first ask, well, what company do you have it with? A lot of times they don't even know that. Yeah. But let's say they do. Then you ask, okay, great. What type of life insurance is that? Term, whole, universal? And like you said, they probably don't know, but they'll just kind of say, I think it's term. Yeah, the term one. Okay. Then you ask them the price and then how much the death benefit is, or the other way around. Doesn't matter. One of those questions, they're either flat out not going to know, or they're going to be like, you can tell something doesn't add up here. They're not sure. And I wanted to make this video not too lengthy of a training. So I want to take that, what you just said, that what you did there was you made it public knowledge that they're not 100% sure what they're paying for every month. Exactly. And so at that point, all we want to do is offer them a free policy review. Okay. So you're going to say, you know what? It is really important that you know exactly how much it costs each month. Or if you're not sure how much it pays out when you die, it's probably best to double check that. Or, whatever they didn't know about what type of insurance it is, say it's really important to know that. So if you would just go grab your policy real quick. I don't mind waiting. I'm sure you have it in the safe back there.
Time out.
Go grab the policy.
I want everybody to hear what he just said. He didn't ask for them to go get their policy. Guys, if you ask, a lot of times they'll say no. Kenny just said, go ahead and grab that policy. I'll take a look at it for you. Do a quick review in and out.
Yeah,
that's huge. I mean, especially for new agents, we don't have a lot of confidence. We understand that at least we think that these people know more than we do. No, the first thing we can work on is our confidence. And by just saying, go get that. Excellent. That was awesome, Kenny.
Yeah. So they don't know something about their policy. I'm just going to ask them, hey, go ahead and go grab that policy. Okay. We're in no rush here. I just want to double check it before I leave. Make sure you're in the best spot. And you'd be shocked, guys. This will take a little training, a little confidence building. 99. If you say it like that, they just go get it. They just go get it. And then they're going to bring you the policy, and you can review the 4 things that we're mainly looking for.
Yep.
Is it term or whole life? Does it cost way too much? That'll be obvious to you. Is, etc. We don't have to go into the weeds on that. Just get the policy and look at it and write all of that information down. Okay. Let's assume that they're about to go into a Medicare sale, Ethan. So if they have the policy, you review it. If they don't have the policy, you call the company. So they say, I know it's Mutual of Omaha. Great. We're going to make a quick phone call. Here's why, Betty. I want you to have policy in hand for your family if something ever happens to you. Well, I think my son might have it. That's okay. You need to have 2 copies. Let's have a duplicate copy sent to you so you know exactly what you have.
Bingo.
I'm gonna get them on the phone. They'll ask for your verification and we'll have them mail you a new policy. So if they don't have the policy, you're calling for them. You're doing them a free service to get them a new policy sent out. And at that time, you can ask those questions. Hey, by the way, is this whole life, term life? How much is it? How much does it cover? Right. So and if they say they don't know the name of the company, so they don't have the policy, they don't know the name of the company, you're going to have to ask them, you know what, Miss Betty, I guarantee you they take that out of your check each month. So go grab your bank statement and look at, and I'll know the name of it and you can find it that way.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to let you speak to that, but to summarize that, once we've either looked at the policy or called about the policy, we can then move on. You're ready to take care of Medicare. You did this, took you a few minutes in your needs assessment. We're going to say, you know what, Miss Betty, at least we know what you have now. We know what you have. I might be able to help you with that to make sure it's the best for you. But today we're here to take care of your Medicare. So let's get back into that. That's all you have to do that day.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's what I say every single time is, Miss Betty, we've got you a new policy on the way. And on the next video that we do, Kenny will talk about loans and things like that. So if I notice that it's a whole life, whether they got the policy or not, I'm making that phone call because that's a huge one, a huge way to replace that. And then, like I said, hey, Miss Betty, I'm going to take this back to the lab. There's a couple of things that were slightly concerning to me. I want to make sure I review this with my manager, make sure that everything looks good and kosher. But in the meantime, today we're going to get that Medicare taken care of. That's it.
And then you can just move right back into your needs assessment and process for Medicare. So
Bingo.
what you do next, if you're me, who's done this a million times, I'm already quoting in my head. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, it's a graded Lincoln Heritage policy that she sold 3 days ago or something, right? And I'm like pumped because I know I'm going to call her back the next day and be like, I've got great news for you. You don't have to have a graded policy, whatever, right? Like, I know you may not know what to do. You may not look at it and go, I don't know if this is good or not. Exactly what Ethan said. Hey, today we're going to go back. We're going to take care of your Medicare. At least we know what you have now. I'm going to review this with my manager to make sure that it's the best for you, that there's nothing wrong with it. And then I'll call you about that later. Sound fair, Miss Betty? And if you work with me and Ethan, call us. We will be pumped. You could call me every day for the next 10 years. The news that you have for me is that you have an insurance policy from a customer, a life insurance policy, and you need me to help you figure out if it's good or not. That's good. Like, we want to take those phone calls because you're about to make some money. You're going to help that client. And sometimes it may be the best they can get. Maybe they bought a level final expense whole life policy a week earlier. That's okay too. That's part of doing business. You did great, Miss Betty. Good job.
But a lot of times they don't.
But usually it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I wanted to start with today, right, guys? So I hope what you took away from this, if you stuck around, was you don't have to present the product. You don't have to know much about the product. Just know how to ask 4 basic questions about their life insurance and help them review that. You know, hey, go grab the policy. Let's review it. You don't have a policy. Let's call and get you one. And then take care of the Medicare, go home, call us, do your own research, then call them back and take care of it from there.
Boom. That easy, guys. Implement
it. Yeah, let's just kind of give a little teaser. I don't know when we'll do this, but let's do another video about like a deep dive into the types of policies you're going to start running into when you do this, right? Yeah. Step 1 is just get the policy and review it. Don't worry about what you know or don't know yet. But me and Ethan will do another video like, oh, graded, oh, whole life, but with a big loan out, oh, term life.
You know, how do you navigate somebody having $150,000 for 20 months and then all of a sudden you're talking 10,000 for 100? That's tough. We'll talk about that one for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a good start. I hope this is helpful to you guys. And I hope we stayed shallow enough that you understand you don't have to be a life insurance expert. Focus on Medicare, learn Medicare, and just review policies. And we'll kind of help you from there if you work with us. So cool. Ethan, you want to add anything before we wrap this up?
No, I think we've hit it all. Let's keep it short and sweet today.
All right, man. Hey, follow us on Instagram at Medicare Millennials. If you're interested in contracting with us for life insurance, Medicare plans, hospital plans, reach out. We'd love to help you out. Have a good day.
See you guys.